of Christmas, we see that the only people who lose their lives are the main boys. But in this one, we start to see the collateral damage that we know from South Park. Jesus fires off a fireball, which hits the Santa Claus kiosk and collapses on some random children. Santa throws back some ice powers, which cuts off Kenny's head, and then proceeds to topple a statue on top of some random children. We then get the famous line about them taking out Kenny, and as Santa and Jesus keep fighting, they beg the children to help each of them. And the kids are very divided. They don't know whether they want to help Jesus or Santa. Because Santa's saying, well, I give you presents, and Jesus is saying, well, I saved your soul. And this is where we get even more references. In the back, you can see Tom's Rhinoplasty, which is a shop that has always been in South Park, even until these modern seasons. The same shop you might know from when Mr. Garrison gets his plastic surgery. And the boys are so divided on who to help, they ask themselves, what would Brian Boitano do? To which we see the famous figure skater Brian Boitano appear. And Brian Boitano also comes up in the South Park movie, where the boys ask themselves, what would Brian Boitano do? And they sing songs about how he would figure skate blindfolded, he would blow fire and save people from bears, among other things. Brian Boitano tells them that Christmas isn't about picking sides, it's about being good to each other, and he then immediately leaves. The boys then remind Santa and Jesus that this isn't about picking sides. They tell Jesus that Santa has helped keeping his memory alive by having people celebrate the day. They remind Santa that nobody would be celebrating Christmas to begin with if there wasn't a Jesus. So Santa and Jesus settle their beef. And then when we see the boys summarize what they learned that day, they said it's about presents. Just like they did in the original. And so this idea of summarizing the episode at the end, and sometimes incorrectly for a joke, mocking sitcoms for doing this kind of thing, has always very much been a part of the show. And then at the very end, we see a bunch of rats swarm Kenny's body, which also has been an ongoing trope throughout the show. So Jesus has always been a character since before it was even named South Park. And we've seen him all throughout the show, like when he boxes Satan. Jesus with God, because that's what God looks like in South Park. And dozens of other times that he showed up in the show. And there's even another episode where Jesus and Santa Claus are in it together. In the Red Sleigh Down episode, Santa is delivering presents over Iraq when he gets shot down. So they enlist the help of Jesus to go save him. And they have to fight their way back out of Iraq. Where we also see pictures of Saddam Hussein, who in the South Park movie was dating Satan. And in the new episode, we see that Satan has a new boyfriend. And that's because South Park has always been highly referential. And there's so many running jokes, it's almost hard to keep up with all of them. But that's one of the reasons that this show is so brilliant. And it's far more complicated than most people will ever give it credit for.